Good evening, ladies. How y'all doing? I hope you're having an awesome Wednesday. I've been doing this long enough. You'd think I'd remember to turn the volume down on my phone first. Forgive my voice. Woke up with a little something this morning, kind of an annual thing, always around this time of year, but we're gonna be okay. I'm gonna get through it. I just know it. While we're waiting for everybody to jump on for this Wellness Wednesday, I'm going to say my disclaimer so we can let any stragglers that want to jump on come join us for our topic tonight. Um, Anything that I say tonight during this Wellness Wednesday is not intended to be health advice, but is health information. Do not start taking or stop taking or change the way you're taking any of your medications. If you feel like you need to, please first consult with your prescribing practitioner to make the appropriate adjustments with you safely. And attending this Wellness Wednesday does not establish a doctor-patient relationship. But I'm super excited to be with you this week. Eh, Welcome again, all you new ladies too. It's so awesome. This group has reached uh, over 23,000 members. We meet here every Wednesday also, and I talk to you for maybe 30 minutes and take you on a deep dive into a topic that was maybe a topic that came up during the week this past week, or a topic that I think will really benefit you as you are going along this journey to fixing your thyroid and changing your life. So I want to remind you also, oh my goodness, about the Balance and Burn Weight Loss Masterclass, which starts in a little under 2 weeks on November 18th. And I have to tell you, I met with four out of it was like 10 patients this past week who had implemented things that they had learned in the masterclass. One who had not been able to drop or budge a single pound is now down around 20 to 25 pounds and has noticed better energy already. Another who had noted nearly complete resolution of her joint pains, and she's down about 10 pounds. She still has some brain fog and poor sleep and a few other symptoms, but that's what we're going to be working on because I was able to accept her as a patient. The next one was down, what was it, 15 pounds and is noticing better energy, but she needs more. Another was down another few pounds. And then spoke with another one this week who is also down a few more pounds, has noticed an increase in her motivation already. She just really didn't have a whole lot of motivation to get out and, well, beyond what she had to do for work. And she's noticing that after, the last probably year or so that she just didn't really feel like doing anything after work. She's starting to get a little bit more motivated. So that's awesome, right? Every single one of them who had implemented something from the masterclass are already on their way to healing. This is what these masterclasses are about. To give you the information you need to know how to look at your health, how to understand what is going on with your thyroid and blood sugar, and what you need to actually implement so that you can get great results. So implementing the things you learn in the master classes is going to be the springboard to helping you reach all of your health goals and the results that you really want. Excuse me. Now, when you want to lose weight, okay, you're always told, and we're going to jump right in because I think that what I'm talking about tonight with sugar cravings obviously dovetails right into what the masterclass is going to talk about. But I think this will give you some extra oomph as you go to prepare yourself for attending that. And when you're going to lose weight, you're always told to decrease your calories, right? And exercise more. That's the main thing you're told. And I think a lot of us, when we're told this, okay, we're like, well, we're going to read the labels. We're going to pick up those labels and see, the section where it says the calories, where it lists the carbohydrates and the proteins and fats. And so, okay, you see, this has no calories, so it's safe for me to eat. I'll lose weight. Ladies, I know all of you don't think that way, but this might come as a surprise to some of you. Um, no calories doesn't mean that it's well, whatever chemicals, whatever this food substance is made from, that's somehow low calories. See, every type of food out there that's real food does have calories. Okay, vegetables have calories, meat and starches, carbohydrates. Um, so anything that is actual food is always going to have calories. So if it says no calories, it's not food. It's simply not food. It's just chemicals, right? And why are they no calorie? Well, a lot of times it's because they are made with artificial sweeteners, which supposedly have no calories, right? Okay, well, again, why are these bad? So artificial sweeteners, and I'm going to just talk about this for a moment because this plays into uh, the sugar cravings. Okay, so these artificial sweeteners, they change the microbiome in your gut. Okay, and when you have a change in the microbiome, this actually the bacteria that are feeding on these artificial sweeteners, they increase your appetite and they make you eat more. So you don't feel full, you want to eat more. Okay, and when you eat more, it makes you crave more sugar too. Artificial sweeteners also change the glucose balance, okay, or homeostasis in your body. And that is again, through a mechanism relating to the microbiome. So the microbiome causes sugar cravings and then weight gain. As an aside, I think you should know that sugar is much like cocaine in your brain. It works on the same receptor sites. It causes a release of dopamine, which is the make you feel good hormone, right? This leads the excessive release of dopamine certainly leads to addiction, right? And this is why being addicted to sugar is so easy. It's so easy to become addicted. So if you if you know that this is going on in your brain and you're eating these things that feel good, even these artificial sweeteners start to act like sugar, okay, in your brain. Artificial sweeteners are hidden in sugar-free products. Okay, now I know that if you shop some of the natural stores, like Whole Foods or um, you know natural grocers or Sprouts, places like that, you'll find that some things that say sugar-free actually are actually sugar-free, and they may not contain some of these, but you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. You gotta look at a lot of these foods, or these, again, I hesitate calling gum food, but gum, for example, often made with like sucralose and aspartame and you know uh, acesulfame, and there's so many different ones that they're made with, even xylitol, which may not be like super terrible to eat, to chew gum with xylitol if that's all it has in it every once in a while, but do not make chewing gum a habit, because the more you chew on the gum, you're constantly releasing, making saliva and releasing these enzymes, and when there's nothing to digest for those enzymes in the saliva, it's giving the wrong messaging to your gut, and it's going to perpetuate you wanting, you know, that taste, that sweet taste in your mouth. Really watch toothpastes, right? A lot of them are made with these sweeteners, and that using certain toothpaste, if it's not like, you know, I mean, there's lots of different brands of toothpaste that, first of all, don't have fluoride that would be better for you as well, but they're not, made with any of these artificial sweeteners that are so much better for you. I use one called Revitin. It is a prebiotic toothpaste that uh, it's amazing. It no fluoride in it. It's not, like I said, it's not sweetened with anything like these artificial sweeteners. So, but using toothpaste, regular toothpaste that does have these kind of things in it, can actually perpetuate cravings. And then things like laxative chews, um, light or diet drinks, of course, a lot of sports drinks. Sports drinks are full of, especially like they all say zero, right? Uh, they're made with artificial sweeteners. They're loaded with them. Okay. Protein shakes and meal replacement shakes. You've got to watch these. Uh, because they're sweetened, right? They're going to be sweetened with something like this. It's going to be an artificial sweetener. For some of you, um, even when, and I'll talk about this in a moment, even sweetened with stevia, these might perpetuate your sugar cravings because the sweet taste is enough for some of you to not be able to shake that. Salad dressings, they're loaded with sugar. They're loaded with artificial sweeteners. Um, Condiments, you got to look carefully. They'll almost always have high fructose corn syrup and these other artificial sweeteners. So really watch the labels and make sure that you're not eating these foods, these these condiments that have sugar or any natural sweeteners in them, because these will perpetuate cravings. Anytime you eat sugar, that it'll perpetuate these cravings. Frozen meals are going to have sweeteners and sugar and so forth. Yogurt is a really bad one. If When you're really looking to lose weight uh, and try to beat these sugar cravings, yogurt is the last thing you want to eat. Unless it's plain, completely plain, unsweetened, where you can and certainly not dairy. I talk about that in depth in the masterclass, why we don't do dairy. Um, of course, and of course, diet products in general. So diet, anything, right, is going to have artificial sweeteners. So we're talking about um, saccharin, right? There's saccharin, there's aspartame, which is like an equal and NutraSweet. Um, Acesulfame. This is uh, another one that's in so many things. Sucralose, which is also known as Splenda. Um, there's one called Neotame. You might have heard of sorbitol, uh, dextrose, maltose. You've obviously glucose, fructose. Now, high fructose corn syrup, you heard me mention that already. And then erythritol would be one of them that isn't the best one for you. A lot of people get real sensitive to this, that can cause headaches, and a lot of these can. In fact, I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. So the the symptoms that can be associated with artificial sweeteners include mood disorders, weight gain, of course. These artificial sweeteners are known as obesogens. These are some of the these chemicals that cause weight gain. Okay, obesogens, and there are more. Cancer certainly can be associated with artificial sweeteners. Headaches. For me, erythritol almost always gives me a headache. Cardiovascular disease is connected to chronic intake of these artificial sweeteners. Diabetes too, okay, because of the way these alter glucose homeostasis, and this can lead to diabetes. Strokes and dementia. This is huge, ladies. Um, Alzheimer's disease is one of the leading causes of death in this country. Okay. And I'm gonna get back to this a little later, I think, but it's so important that you know what is causing this, because it's not just genetics. There are, in fact, only 15 to 20% of Alzheimer's is caused by genetics. The rest is caused by, and get this, the number one thing, excuse me, is insulin resistance. Okay. Um, and then there's other trophic factors, things that nutrients that you're missing, including hypothyroidism, um, things like infections, lack of blood flow to the brain will cause dementia and Alzheimer's, um, and toxins, biotoxins, especially mold is a big guy for causing dementia and Alzheimer's. Okay, IBS and Crohn's can be symptoms and conditions associated with artificial sweeteners, and liver damage. Also, you will be more prone to liver scarring and non-alcoholic fatty liver with the use of artificial sweeteners. And there was a study out of University of Minnesota, and I just saw this not long ago, that found long-term consumption of artificial sweeteners was linked to increased fat stores in the abdomen and in muscle. So I don't know about you, but I'm not too excited about developing fat in my muscle. I don't think that sounds right. I don't want to be flabby. I want to be healthy and strong, not marbled, if you will. Okay. And then I have this also on my computer to share with you. 2022 systematic review and meta-analysis by the World Health Organization, or WHO, was found that regularly consuming non-sugar sweeteners was associated with increased body mass index, fat accumulation, and an increased risk of type 2 diabetes. Okay. Other studies as well, even though some cited by the NIH, National Institute of Health, have also found that artificial sweeteners are associated with, guess what? Sugar cravings, weight gain, and obesity. Okay, so what are the allowed natural sweeteners? Okay, so on occasion, and this is something that that I've found to really be helpful with my patients. On occasion, this does not mean daily, weekly, or even every couple of weeks. And so we're used to hearing these, like these are safe. Stevia, grade A maple syrup, xylitol, like I said, on a rare occasion, monk fruit, coconut sugar. These are quote unquote safe or okay, allowed natural sweeteners, but they're to only be used on occasion. If you have sugar cravings, if you use them more than that, they will perpetuate cravings and will, in many cases, prevent weight loss. Okay. So really keep that in mind. The sweet taste affects our brains, which ultimately starts to affect our microbiomes. So there's a communication between our brain and our gut. And that communication is so important to remember when it comes to just wanting to have something sweet and thinking it's okay, it's just stevia, or it's okay, it's just monk fruit, and have something like that every day. I've found that some of our patients who felt like, maybe they came to a plateau with their weight loss, they were okay, they thought they were okay with eating something sweet, even if it was on the okay list, right, every day. And unfortunately, that's going to cause an upset with the glucose regulation and your insulin. So that's going to be really important to remember when you're really trying to get rid of these cravings. Parasites. Parasites cause sugar cravings. Why? Well, first of all, we all have them. I've done a Wellness Wednesday on this, right? You need to maybe go back and search the group page for parasites and watch that. I know it's kind of gross, but we all have them. We're born with them. They're growing inside of us. They thrive on sugar or glucose, just like your cells need glucose. So do they. So if you if you really want to affect that as well, stop eating sugar and sweet things, because it just makes those parasites crave sugar more too. Okay, so to help your craving in the moment, I want to give you ladies a couple of biohacks, right? I want to help you out here. So when you have a craving, an easy thing to do, if you like them, is eat a dill pickle spear or eat a spoonful of sauerkraut, something fermented, or even olives. Uh, you might just try drinking a little salt water or electrolyte, something like an electrolyte mix that isn't made with sugar. And again, sometimes those are made with stevia. So again, if you're doing that every single day, that may not be the best thing if you're really struggling with sugar cravings or struggling with weight loss. Or even better thing to do, eat a tablespoon of coconut oil, extra virgin olive oil, or maybe eat half an avocado, and then wait 30 minutes and see how you're doing. Do you still have that craving? Okay. So bottom line, eat fat or salty food, salty legal foods to crush those cravings. You can't focus on decreasing calories. Okay. 0 calories. It's not food. Eat more vegetables and moderate amount of proteins with a lot of leafy greens. That will also ultimately help your sugar cravings. So get rid of these artificial sweeteners. They perpetuate cravings. They promote weight gain. If it's a sweet food, be careful, because it will likely bring those sugar cravings right on back. Okay. Now, a little side note on cognitive decline. I do want to say something about this. Cognitive decline responds to decreasing carbohydrates and sugars in your diet. So if you're experiencing memory issues, focus issues, brain fog, get rid of the sugar, get rid of these sweeteners, these artificial sweeteners. They are known to cause dementia and Alzheimer's. Okay, there's so many studies showing that these artificial sweeteners cause these cognitive decline conditions. Okay. Very good. Okay. I can stay on for a couple more minutes. I'm going to stay on and answer some questions if you have some. And while you're getting those in, a reminder about the masterclass. Starts November 18th, goes through the 20th. There will be a couple of bonus sessions as well. I mean, those of you who know or have attended previous master classes know that I always have more information to share than what I, plan, than the days I plan to do the master class. So I usually do bonus sessions. Invite your friends who may also, who may also benefit from from knowing this information as well. I have so much information to share with you during this master class that, it's if you have trouble losing weight, anyone having trouble losing weight needs to have this information. We'll look at the fad diets out there, and we'll look at the only hormone that really matters for women with low thyroid trying to lose weight. And it's not thyroid hormones. We'll talk about exercise and why it sometimes causes weight gain and what's the smartest way to exercise if you have low thyroid, and so much more. There's so much more information that I'll share with you. All right, so let's see. Let's see what. Oh, and the link to register for the class is going to be in the comment section. It's for this Wellness Wednesday, it's going to be in the comment section. And okay, let's see what we've got. Okay, so is sourdough bread as good for you as some say? Absolutely not. Sourdough bread is made so that it has less gluten, right? And it's, it has some of the carbohydrate, like fermented out, but it is in the sense that it still has 30% of the gluten that regular bread has. Mm-mm. That's going to definitely perpetuate sugar cravings and weight gain, excuse me. It's going to continue to cause weight gain. So I just talked about monk fruit. It's safe, it's okay, but used very sparingly, right? Use it rarely. Okay. When you have sugar cravings and you're having trouble with your weight, that's when you know you have to really make it a occasional, just a very occasional splurge. Okay. Can you explain insulin resistance briefly? And yes, it so when you eat something with sugar, some carbohydrate, your pancreas produces insulin to bring that blood sugar where it needs to go in your body. And I will cover this extensively in the masterclass. I'd be here another, well, 2 or 3 days. No, I mean, it's an explanation that you deserve, and definitely attend the class if you want to understand this better. But in a nutshell, the more insulin you produce, the less your cells are going to use it, because insulin's job is to get the sugar, get the glucose out of the blood, and it either puts it into fat or into the cells that you're needing it for fuel. And so the more you make in your pancreas, the more resistant you become. And that ultimately causes weight gain because insulin stores it as fat, stores glucose as fat. Honey. Honey is not allowed when you're trying to lose weight. It is so high in sugar and fructose. And many of you, when we do testing to find out what your root causes are, you'll come to find out that a lot of you have trouble dealing with fructose. So I go into this in depth in the masterclass. I'll show you how that works, why we look at the tests we look at. And but honey, if you have sugar cravings, honey is not okay. Can we get rid of parasites? We can really do a lot to lower them a lot. Okay? Yes, but it's not by taking one dose like most doctors recommend. It's a much more of a process. I've been doing this for years. I've been treating parasites for as long as I've been doing functional medicine, almost 13 years. And yes, you can do a really good job of getting rid of most of your parasites. But as we do with our animals, you have to do it periodically, right? We deworm our livestock, right? We give our pets dewormers, right? Why haven't we been doing that ourselves? Okay. Food for thought. Is kimchi okay? It is. Yes, usually. I mean, if you don't have a sensitivity to cabbage or anything like that. Yeah, or anything it's made with. Sometimes it's real spicy, and so it's sometimes made with spices that you might be sensitive to as well. Does drinking pickle juice count as a pickle? Yeah, yeah, you could certainly do that. I love pickle juice. I know my kids think I'm nuts for liking pickles, and I'll drink the pickle juice. Yeah, it's so good. Why does Ozempic work so well? Because it increases your second stage insulin release from the pancreas. And you heard what I just said about increasing insulin from the pancreas. The more you make, the more resistant to you get. The issue is it pulls, it causes you to release so much more insulin, and it you get insulin resistant in your muscles. Okay, the fat continues to store it. So a lot of times the net loss with these drugs like Ozempic is you're losing muscle too fast and replacing some of the fat that doesn't weigh as much because insulin is going to store the excess glucose as fat. So you definitely have a change in your body composition, which is undesirable. And you're losing strength, you're losing muscle, and because you're losing muscle, you're losing more weight, and muscle weighs more than fat. So that's why it works. And it only works so long. It only works to a point. And then you're almost forced to stay on it for the rest of your life, or you unfortunately gain all of it back. But look at the studies. They're showing that these drugs are causing more and more mental health issues than they ever imagined it. They didn't obviously foresee that. But there's a lot, especially in men, a lot of suicide, depression, and in women too, a lot of depression. So, and there's so many other side effects. So many other side effects. Molasses. What about molasses? No, very. this is this is a it's so high in fructose. It's so high in fructose. Blackstrap might be a little better. Blackstrap molasses might be a little better, but again, something that should be used very occasionally, especially if you're trying to get rid of sugar cravings and lose weight. Okay, I hope I've made my point. Avoiding the sweet stuff, you will change your your tastes. Your tastes change over time. Mine have. Suggestion for pickle brands. I know there aren't too many like organic pickles, but if you can find and I don't know the brands. There is one called Bubby's that you can get at Costco. I think those are probably okay. If you start to notice that your blood pressure goes up or whatnot, then it's probably not good for you. But yeah, I there's several brands that you can find at like at Whole Foods or Sprouts that would be organic, and those are the best ones to find. So, okay, I don't think I see any more questions. So I'll leave it there tonight. Thanks for joining for Wellness Wednesday. And remember to register for the masterclass. The link is in the comment section. And hope you all have a great evening. And remember, there are answers. Please have hope because you still have the power to heal. All right. Good night, everyone.